All right, welcome back, my seventh grade advanced class. Let's go ahead and knock out the homework for 4.5. I got all the odd ones. Let's start with number one. We're talking about an octagon. It says find the measure of each interior angle of the octagon. We want the each interior angle. We know that we're going to use the formula to find out how many degrees all the angles add up to, and that's n minus 2 times 180. There's 8 sides of an octagon, so we're going to replace n with 8. And 8 minus 2 is 6. We do parentheses first. 6 times 180 is 1,080. Now we know that's the total of the 8 uh, angles in an octagon. So now we're going to have to divide 1,080 by 8 to find out what each one is. And when we do that, we see that each angle is 135 degrees. Now let's go on to number 3 here. So it's an 18 agon. So that means we're going to take 18, subtract it from 2. When we do that, we got 16. And 16 times 180 is 2,880. Now we have to divide that by 18. And that's going to give us 160 degrees for each interior angle of a 18 agon. All right, let's go on to number 4. Um, I'm sorry, I'm doing number 5. You have number 4. Solve the equation, check your solution. Well, we know 9 is being multiplied to x when you do the opposite of multiplying 9, which is dividing 9. So if I divide 9 from 9x, I have to divide 9 from 54. 54 divided by 9 is going to give me 6. So x equals 6. All right, question 7 and 8 were deleted from your homework. You don't got to worry about them. So we're going to 9. It says, tell whether the triangles are similar. Are these similar? Well, I know there's a 34-degree angle over here. I know there's a 30-90-degree angle over here. And I know that these 2 points here, they have to be the same angle because remember, all triangles equal 180. So in doing this, if I was going to solve for x, I would take 39 and 34. That's going to make, see, 73. So that means x is 73 here. If x is 73 here, then x has to be 73 here. Okay? And it says tell whether they're similar. Similar means they have to have all the same angles. They do not have to have the same side lengths. So I would say yes, number 9 is similar. The 2 angles have 2 pair of congruent angles. That is similar. All right, number 10 is for you to do. Number 11 is next. This time we have 64, 85. Over here I have 85 and I have 26. Now you might say automatically that they are not the same, but remember all triangles equal 180. So we can take 85 and 64. That's going to give me, well, 4 and 5 make 9. And 6 and 8 make 14. So now we have to take 180 minus 49, and that's going to give us 31. So x has to equal 31. So I'm going to put a 31 here. We're just going to make double sure. I know that 64 and 31 make 95, and 95 and 85 do make 180. Now this tells me that they are not going to be congruent because I have 85 over here, and I have 85 over here. We already know 64 wasn't the angle that's over here, but now we also know that 31 is not the angle over here. So we do not have 2 sets of congruent angles. I would say no, the triangles do not have the same angle measures. Next is number 13. Which of the rulers are similar in shape? Well, if we're talking similar in shape, we do have 2 of them with right angles, okay? Now, this one here has an X here and an X here, which means we're talking about an isosceles triangle. These 2 have to be identical. Not so much over here. With this being 60 degrees and this being 90 degrees, then you have to ask yourself, well, what is this going to be over here if this is 45? Well, now you're starting to wonder, okay, which is it? This one, or this one? And the secret is revealed. Um, let's just look at this for a second. And I already can tell which one it is, but if we had remember, all angles have to equal 180. So if we had 90-degree angle, and this is an x and this is an x, so we're adding 2x. That has to equal 180, which means I'm going to minus 90 from here. Means I'm minus 90 from here. That's going to give me 2x equals 90. I'm going to divide by 2. And you can see that 90 divided by 2 is going to give me 45. Now this tells you right here that if this is 45 and this is 90, this has to be 45, which means these equal each other. And we've already discovered these x's equal 45. So the two angles that are similar are going to be this triangle and this triangle. This one is not similar because if we have 90 here and 60 here, this one must be 30. All right? So that reveals the answer. The leftmost and rightmost, they both are right triangles with two 45-degree angles. Okay? All right, let's go on to number, let's see, that was 13. Let's go on and go to number 15. Tell whether the triangles are similar. Okay. Over here, we've got a 29-degree angle and an 88-degree angle. To find out if they're similar, I need to find out what the other one is. Okay. So let's add these up. We got 88 and we have 29. Now we know if this is 29, this one has to be 29 because there's are vertical angles here. So automatically, if I add these two together, I'm going to get, well, that's a 7, carry the 1. That's 111. So when we take away 117 from 180, that's going to give me 163. So this has to be 163. And, oh, I'm sorry. That should just be 63, not 163, just 63. All right. Computed that wrong in my head for some reason. And let's change that to a 63. Okay. All right, so now we're back over here. We know this is 29. Now the question is, will this be 88? And the answer to that is going to be no, because we know that two angles that reside on a straight line have to be 180 degrees. So if this is 90, this one has to be 89 degrees, which is really close to 88, but it's not exactly. And that's going to make this one 62. So no, these are not similar triangles. Using vertical angles, the triangle on the left has to be an angle of 29. Using supplementary angles, the triangle on the right has to be 180 minus 91, right? And that's going to be 89. And then the measure of the third angle of the triangle on the right will be 180 minus 89 minus 29. That's got to be 62. The triangles do not have two pair of congruent angles, so the triangles are not similar. All right, let's go to number 16, or actually 17. Looks like I popped the answer up here prematurely, but let's work it out anyways. It says find the value of x. All right, if I'm finding the value of x, I realize that if these are both right angles and they both share this angle, okay, and now it says we're finding the value of x. Remember, we need to find out how tall this one is. And we can do this by looking at our ratios, right? So let's look at this. As far as the big triangle goes, 9 plus 6 means this whole thing is 15. Okay? And let's see if this is 5, and they want to know what this is. And now we can use that ratio since we have two right angles here. Let's go ahead and use cross multiplication. On the big triangle, when this is 5, this is 15. So I can say we have 5 over 15. And that's equal to, this time we're saying instead of 15, we have x over 6. Now we cross multiply to get the answer. 5 times 6 has to equal 15x. Well, 5 times 6 is 30. And now I got to divide by 15 to get x by itself. Whatever I divide from one side, I divide from the other. And 30 divided by 15, well, that's easy. That's 2. So that tells me that x has to equal 2, and that's exactly what we got over here. We see they did the same thing that I did. They cross multiplied, and they got 5 over 15 equals x over 6. They divided, they multiplied 5 times 6 to get 30. Then 5 times x to get 15x. And they divided 15 from both sides to get 2. All right, let's move on. That's number 18. That's for you to do. Now we have number 19. It's like I gave you one there. You are taking a water sample near Clearwater Beach. All right, here's Clearwater Beach. The water sample must be taken from water at least 20 feet deep. Okay. Find the depth of the water 50 feet from shore. It says find the depth of the water 50 feet from shore. Is this an appropriate location for the water sample? Now remember, the water sample must be taken from water at least 20 feet deep. Now over here, when we are 5 feet away, we're only 1.5 deep. So when we're 50 feet away, will we be 20 feet deep? Again, we can use cross multiplication for this. We're talking two triangles here, and I'm going to highlight them here. All right. First, this triangle has a measure of 5 feet, okay, and 1.5. So over here, we've got 1.5 over 5. So what is that congruent to? Remember, 1.5 is on top, and that's how deep it is. So we're going to put d on top of the other fraction, or x as they have here. And instead of 5 going across, we have 50 going across. And that's why I have x over 50. All right, now we're going to cross multiply. 50 times 1.5 is 75, and x times 5 is 5x. I'm going to divide 5 away from 5x, which means I divide 75 from 15. That gives me 15. The depth of the water sample is 15 feet. No, this is not an appropriate depth for the water sample because 15 feet is not 20 feet. And remember, it said we need at least 20 feet deep. 20 zeros to do. I'm on 21. You place a mirror on the ground 6 feet from the lamppost, okay? Remember, this is 6 feet from the lamppost. You move back 3 feet and see the top of the lamppost, okay, in the mirror. What is the height of the lamppost? Okay. So it says you place a mirror on the ground 6 feet from the lamppost. So what we do know is that this is 6 feet And we do know when you move back 3 feet, this is 3 feet. All right. So what if you see the top of the lamppost, you want to know what is the height. So everything is in ratio of right now 2 from what I see, because 3 times 2 is 6. So we're doubling everything, which tells me the height of this lamppost is probably going to be uh, double the height of what we have over here. Now you might think that really doesn't help much, but we're looking at also a 90-degree angle here, okay? So assume that you are 5 feet tall, all right? If you're 5 feet and this is 3 feet, okay? When 3 feet is doubled, again, you can make this cross multiplication that when it's 3 feet on the bottom is 5 feet, the person's 5 feet. So they're asking when it's 6 feet on the bottom, what will X be? Well, again, we have to take 5 times 6, and that's 30. That's going to equal 3 times X, 3X. I'm going to have to divide 3 away from 3X, which means I'll divide it from 30, and that means X is going to have to be 10. All right, and I'm going to let you know right now, because they did not say how many feet the person was, I'm not going to go ahead and say that this 10 is the right answer. I should say, I would think it's double the height of whatever you are, or from your eyes length. All right, 22 is for you to do. And I think that's the end of it. Well, good luck with the rest of them. I'll see you in class, and have a good night.